Father, I want to be completely honest with you about where I am right now, because pretending otherwise would make this prayer hollow, and I need it to be real. My faith has been shaken, not shattered, not abandoned, but shaken, worn down by a combination of unanswered prayers that stretched longer than I thought I could endure, disappointments that arrived in the places I least expected them, and a creeping doubt that has been whispering with increasing persistence that maybe things will not work out the way I have believed they would. I have fought that doubt with everything I have. I have preached to myself, reminded myself of what I know to be true, and refused to give doubt the full permission it has been seeking. But I will not stand here and tell you that the fight has been easy or that my faith is as unshaken as I want it to be. It has cost me something to keep believing, and tonight I am bringing the honest, imperfect, battle-worn version of my faith to you, and choosing, in spite of everything, to hope again. Remove the doubt that has been quietly eroding my confidence in you, not the honest questions that faith can hold, but the corrosive, faith-undermining doubt that tells me you are not listening, not moving, not concerned with the specific details of my life and what I am going through. That doubt has taken root in the soil of waiting and disappointment, and it has grown in proportion to how long the silence has lasted, and how heavy the unanswered questions have become. I am asking you tonight to pull it out by its roots, not to shame me for having it, because I believe you understand how doubt grows in a tired and hoping against hope heart, but to replace it with something more solid and more lasting than the circumstances that gave it room to grow. Replace it with the kind of faith that is not dependent on constant visible evidence, but is anchored in who you are, regardless of what I can currently see. Remind me of your faithfulness, and I mean really remind me, Father, not in a way that feels like a rehearsed list of theological facts, but in a way that lands in my spirit as lived, personal, undeniable truth. Remind me of the specific moments when I was certain there was no way forward, and you made one. Remind me of the prayers I prayed with shaking hands that you answered in ways more complete than I had dared to ask for. Remind me of the seasons I was certain would break me, that you carried me through with a faithfulness so steady that I arrived on the other side more whole than I entered. I need those memories to be vivid and near tonight, not distant historical facts, but present, breathing evidence that the God who showed up then is the same God I am trusting now, in a situation that feels impossible, in ways my previous impossible situations also once felt before you moved in them. Strengthen my faith to believe that you are working in this season, even though I cannot see the evidence of it yet. This is the hardest part of faith for me, the between place, the waiting room, the period between the prayer and the answer where nothing appears to be happening, and doubt has the most room to operate. I need you to meet me in that specific place tonight, not with an immediate resolution to the things I am waiting for, but with a peace and a certainty that something is happening even in the silence, that your inactivity is never truly inactivity, that the seasons where I can see the least of what you are doing are often the seasons where you are doing the most, and that what feels like delay from my vantage point is actually divine timing from yours. Help me to hold on with a grip that does not depend on visible progress, but on invisible faithfulness. Fill me with a hope that is new, not the recycled hope of someone who has been hoping for so long that the hoping itself has become exhausted, but a genuinely fresh hope that approaches what is ahead without the weight of every previous disappointment dragging it down. I need hope that has been renewed at its source rather than merely sustained through gritted teeth and sheer stubbornness. Hope that actually believes the best is still ahead. Hope that is more excited about what you are going to do than it is discouraged by what has not yet happened. Hope that looks at the gap between where I am and where I want to be and sees potential rather than proof that it will never close. Give me that hope tonight, Father, new, unencumbered, and rooted in who you are rather than in how well things have been going. Build my faith into something unshakable, not because my circumstances will necessarily become easier, but because my trust in you will become deep enough that my circumstances lose their power to determine the condition of my faith. I want to reach the place where hard seasons do not shake me the way they currently do, where disappointment informs me without defining me, where delay tests me without defeating me, and where doubt comes but finds no permanent residence because the foundation beneath my faith is too solid to be undermined. I know that kind of unshakable faith is built over time and through the very seasons of difficulty I am in right now. So use this season, Father, to build in me what I could not build in the easier ones. Give me the courage to walk forward into what I cannot yet see, with the same confidence I would have if I could see it all clearly. Help me to take the next step of faith, even while doubt still whispers, even while the outcome remains uncertain, and even while the waiting continues. Let me be someone who acts on what I believe, rather than waiting until I feel completely certain before I move. Because certainty rarely precedes courageous faith, it follows it. Walk with me into every uncertain moment that this season holds, and let your presence be so real to me in each one that courage becomes my default response rather than fear. Thank you for being patient with my doubt, and persistent in your faithfulness, regardless of whether my faith has been strong enough to fully receive it. Thank you for never giving up on me in the seasons when I have come closest to giving up on hoping. Thank you for this moment, for the fact that even in the middle of a shaken faith, something in me still brought this prayer to you, still reached toward you, still chose you over the alternative of simply stopping. I choose hope today, not because everything makes sense, and not because the waiting is over, but because you are worth choosing, and hope is always worth the risk. I choose faith, and I trust that you will honor that choice with a faithfulness that proves, once again, that hoping in you is never wasted. Amen.